many people were here last week? Everyone said, what do you do with this mango salsa? Perfect explanation of what to do with it, okay? I cheated this week and I found one downstairs that we do carry on the shelf, okay? Very similar. It's got a little bit different flavor, so please don't tell me it's not the same as last week's, I know that. But the idea is there and the concept is there. You now have the recipes at home to where you can make them. Now I'll just show you a way to do something with them. I went down to our seafood department and I found, they're called 3140 peeled and deveined tail-on shrimp, okay? Does not matter what kind or size or shape shrimp that you have. If you want to get giants, if you want to get colossals, if you want to get 1 pound per shrimp, by all means, it will all work the same. The recipe works the same. It's just a matter of the method in which you're doing it. We're going to add our shrimp to a large bowl, and I'm actually going to take them out of the bowl I had them sitting in and put them in another bowl because there's water running off them, and we don't want to bake the water. We want to try and get it out of there first. We'll take all these out. And once I put this in the oven, I want to go through sizes of shrimp real quick, just so you kind of get an understanding of what I'm saying. I see. I'm not really trying to dry them. I just don't want to pour that in with my barbecue sauce. We just want to get that out of there so it's not absorbing all that. Now, I had a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's Honey Barbecue. I always use honey barbecue. If you're going to go with a sweet sauce and a sweet salsa, you might as well make sure you're using something sweet on here to begin with. So I want to get rid of the rest of this because no point in leaving it in the fridge. And then we're going to add this other bottle to it. Now with this, it says 1 bottle. What you're trying to do is you're trying to make sure that they all get evenly coated when you mix them together. So we're going to toss these gently with our hands. Now because these have tails on them, please be careful. If you've ever used shrimp or played with shrimp or dealt with shrimp, these little tiny tails are very, very prone to spike people, okay? They'll stab you in the finger, and I'll tell you, it hurts like you would not believe for some tiny little itty bitty shrimp, okay? We want to coat this real well, and we're going to lay them on our tray. And the one thing I'm going to do that I did not write on there, and I'm sorry for this, I'm going to put a tiny bit of oil down on our tray first. Because we're using a sweet barbecue sauce, it may tend to stick a little more, and that will help prevent that. Any type of oil you have is fine. I have extra virgin olive oil up here. That's what we're going to use tonight. And again, it's just a little bit to try and keep it from sticking once we start. I'm going to put my shrimp right in the center, and then we're going to work them towards the outside. It'll help spread that oil a little bit more. Now with these, we want to try and get them down. And you don't have to make sure they're all in the exact same row or exact same way. We just want to make sure they're an even layer. This works very, very well on the grill as well, on a barbecue. I know there's lots of people who love the barbecue this time of year. However, I would recommend putting them on a skewer because these little tiny shrimp or anything this size or just slightly over is going to fall through your grates. So save yourself a lot of time and aggravation. Put them all on skewers real quick. You can do about 10 or 12 per skewer and grill them off, and then it's an easy way to serve them once you're ready. Make sure they're not all twisted and tied up. Again, they don't have to be all the exact same direction. They don't have to be perfectly in there. We just want to make sure they're not laying on top of each other so they'll all cook evenly. And if you were to use frozen shrimp, it would work. You would just want to make sure you increase your cooking time a little bit. Our pot's starting to boil, so we're going to cut that down. Right about medium heat. Any of this extra barbecue sauce I have, I'm just going to pour over top. Scrape it out of the bowl. We don't need the tail. And then if you still have some left in your bottle and you're a real big fan, by all means, feel free to add it to it. The biggest thing is making sure that when they're in the bowl, they all get coated. and that it's evenly coated. I don't need that anymore. Okay, we have them lightly oiled, tossed in barbecue sauce, spread out on our tray. We preheated our oven to about 350 degrees. We're going to put them in the bottom of the oven, and we're going to set our timer for about 12 minutes, and we're going to see how that gets us. And we'll go from there. And I want to check these. And actually pull them out. So that everybody can see them. And we're going to change pans, and I'm going to set them in the microwave so they stay fresh. I don't know if you can see that on TV, but the shape that I was talking about, kind of an open C shape, okay? They're completely done. There's no harm in eating that just the way it is. It's not quite curled all the way around to where it's going to be real tight or real rubbery. It's just to the point where it's starting to hold shape, and that's where the flavor will come out of that. The reason I want to transfer these is because we want to get them out of this liquid, and I don't want to serve them in this hot pan because I don't need anybody grabbing it and hurting themselves. So we're going to put them in a new pan, and then right before we serve these, we're going to top them with that mango salsa, which is why I've left that salsa sit out a little while. You don't necessarily want it warm or hot, but if it takes the chill off just a tiny bit, it will help you in the long run. Because if not, these are going to go from really hot to really cold very quickly. One of the downsides to shrimp, probably the only downside to shrimp, is that with their size, they don't hold temperature at all. If you leave them sit on the counter, in about 4 to 5 minutes, they'll be at 70 or 80 degrees. They'll drop in temperature very rapidly, very quickly. Again, we're just going to take our shrimp. We have our mango salsa. And this is one of those where you kind of just want to lightly sprinkle it across everything. Doesn't have to be real heavy. More so just so you get a little bit of the juice and a little bit of flavors together. Now, we were talking a little while ago about using these on skewers. This is one of those things where if you made up a big pot of rice and then you laid your skewer across it and you poured this over the whole thing, it would work very well. Okay,